Folks, I think one thing that's become obvious during the campaign is that the news media try to pick our candidates long before even the first primary vote is cast. And it's not new. I just think it's becoming more and more obvious here. And you can watch it here in the aftermath of all of these debates. The donor class sometimes is in harmony with the media. Sometimes they're not. In this case, more harmony than not. But the way the media does it is with their coverage, fawning or negative pieces. And, of course, they do it via their polls. Never forget that, which are often the result of their fawning or negative coverage. So the coverage feeds the poll result that they want to get. And we are witnessing this in the current GOP race, the coverage of Carly Fiorina being the latest example. It is more than obvious that the drive-by media and the rest of the ruling class inside the Beltway have decided, based on Wednesday night, that Carly Fiorina now represents the best chance to knock off Trump. That is the overarching objective. And they'd hoped Jeb was going to be able to do it. They wanted Jeb, the donors did, and then they tried the news media to do it. It hasn't quite worked, so now it's Fiorina. It's not that they love Carly. Do not misunderstand this. See, this is the mistake that everybody makes on our side. One of the tricks here is when the media goes gushing about somebody, a lot of unsuspecting Republicans, wait, the media likes her. Maybe she can actually win. Oh, my God. Because so many on our side still, despite their best instincts, still crave media approval. Remember that dinner party of my own that I walked out of? Because I had some guests there telling me they were ready to throw Palin overboard because the media hated her. Same thing here, in reverse. I get people think, wow, Carly, hey, you see the media loves her. Hey, man, she may be the ticket. And that's how it goes. And the media is very much aware of this. Not that they love her. But she is attractive to them in a couple of areas, such as immigration. I'll explain more as we get back from this timeout. And welcome back to Open Line Friday, where callers can even ask questions that have premises I won't even bother to correct. You can even have an incorrect premise in your question, and I'll let it go. Anyway, welcome back, 800-282-2882. So it is clear here that the objective is to knock off Trump. And Carly Fiorina is the flavor of the week for this because of her sterling performance in the debate on Wednesday night. A Washington Post, this is the Politico, new data shows Trump fever breaking. Politico doing its best here to say that Trump is over. My guess is they've had this story in the hopper for weeks as an evergreen, with blanks to fill in the details based on time. And it's been in a drawer, like health care reform. The bill was in a drawer for 20 years with a bunch of blanks waiting to be filled in for current day. Now, there have been stories long before today that we have reached peak Trump. There have been countless stories. That's it for Trump. Stepped in it here. You can't survive insulting a war hero like John McCain. You simply can't survive. You can't call the Mexican immigrants a bunch of rapists and murderers and purse snatchers and muggers. So we've been here and done that. Just like with all of those previous we've reached peak Trump stories, it hasn't seemed to turn out that way. Here's the way the story reads. Donald Trump looked tired after a grueling Republican debate. He might not be alone. After a summer of spectacle and saturation coverage, signs are accumulating that for the public and the media, the onset of Trump fatigue has begun. Mentions of Trump on both television and radio have been trending downward for a month. From their post-Fox debate high, his share of Twitter conversation relative to other candidates has declined in recent weeks, and his odds in political prediction markets have dipped in the hours since Wednesday night's debate. radio and TV conversation about Trump peaked on August 7th, the day after the first debate. There were close to 11,000 mentions of his name on each medium that day, according to data through Monday provided by media monitoring firm Critical Mention. That was Trump's most dominant day of the campaign on Twitter, when 80% of the conversations about Republican candidates were about him, according to data through mid-Thursday provided by analytics firm Echelon Insights. So you got two analytics firms here. And so Trump peaked the day after the debate. Who knew? And he's been trending downward, but now it's gotten to the point where people may be experiencing Trump fatigue. And they may be experiencing Trump boredom. Early reactions to the debate in which Carly Fiorina emerged a winner and Trump struggled to break through, also suggest that the race may be moving beyond the Trump show phase. So you see here, it's all over for Trump. Remember how it was over for the Beatles in 1964 after Beatlemania subsided? What? You didn't know what till now? In the same year we discovered them, they were saying the Beatles were over. Beatlemania was over. After the first round of concerts, that was it. Oh, I'll never forget that. The Beatles were washed up once Beatlemania subsided. 64 was the year they were discovered here. And later that year, they were finished. And many parents across America were happy. They were going, boy, glad we took care of that. Except they hadn't. Beatlemania was nowhere near over. It still isn't, if you look at record sales and this kind of. Well, I mean, the Bay City Rollers. And Mary Hopkin didn't quite take off either, on the Apple label. But, I mean, the Beatlemania was not over in 64 is the point. But nobody maintains a peak like that. So we have some wishful thinking. I'm just passing it along to you Trump people out there so that you know what's being said. They're desperate for this to be real. And Carly Fiorina is headlining the decline, if you will, in the phenomenon of Trump. Now, from the Washington Post, the Republican brand hits a new low. Is Trump the cause or the symptom? The Pew Research Center regularly surveys Americans on their views of the two major political parties. Since January, those with a favorable opinion of the Republican Party have dropped from 41 to 32% of the total. Opinions of the Democrat Party are mixed, a net +1 favorability. For the GOP, it's far worse, a net -18. So the Republican brand in deep, deep trouble. It's hit a new low. And that couldn't possibly be Mitch McConnell. No. Couldn't possibly be Boehner or the Republican leadership in Washington. No way. Whatever problem the Republican brand has got to be due to Donald Trump.